Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to show you how we made the sign here out of cedar for our project house, so stick around. Alright guys, so we used a 1x4 of cedar and then just the 1x2 of regular pine that we had scrap pieces left over, and we bought the numbers here Home Depot at Lowe's, excuse me, and they were like $6 or $7 each. That was the only thing that I purchased. Everything else I had, I used wood glue, finish nails, the porter cable nailer, and the miter saw. So this is 16 inches, so let's do 24 inches. Alright guys, so after measuring my numbers, I decided 24 inches was the size that I wanted to go with, and I just cut two pieces 24-inch length out of the 1x4 cedar that I had. Alright guys, next we're going to do a trim around the edge and cut 45 degrees. Alright, for the trim pieces, I'm going to be using pieces of 1x2 pine that I had laying around, and I put the saw at 45 degrees and I cut two pieces. And the measurement that I did was the inside of the cut. So when you cut the 45 degrees, the inside measurement of the what will be the square that we're going to form out of it was 24 inches long to match the 1x4 that I had previously cut. You see me here putting it next to the next. I took the outside measurement of from trim piece to trim piece, and I cut two of these pieces doing the same thing, 45-degree corners, so that we could match them up. Alright, and so here's what I ended up with as far as the cuts. Remember, the long ones were inside measurements and the short ones in the porter cable finish nailer and wood glue. And next I added some little blocks at the end of the 24-inch 1x4 pieces. I measured to the length of both, which came out to be 7 inches. Alright, next I went ahead and laid out the blocks and the 1x4 pieces, and then I added some wood glue, put the pieces back on, and then we're going to be using the porter cable brad nailer. If you haven't seen my video review on this finish nailer, this is my favorite finish nailer. I use it for everything. Check the link up above. And for now I'm just putting one nail to hold it in while the glue dries and while we finish the rest. Okay, after letting that dry for about 30 minutes, I went ahead and started on the trim pieces. I started with the bottom long piece. I added the wood glue and then I added some nails. Then I did the top piece, same thing, added the wood glue, and then added the nails. And your inside measurements were measured to be flush with the 1x4 pieces and the little blocks that we added earlier. Then, sorry about this guys, I didn't realize that I was out of frame, but I did the same thing. I added glue to the smaller piece and just added a couple nails to nail it and a nail in the corner to keep them together. And I did this on both ends, and this is what we have after that. Moving on, we are going to remove the templates from the numbers. Each number came with its own template that showed you exactly where you needed to drill your holes for the anchors. And so we've laid them all out flat here, and then we're just gonna space them evenly. We did, I believe, 4 inches from the edge, and this is really up to personal preference. However far apart you want them, just evenly space them. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure I did like 4 inches on the ends, and then between there I spaced them out a little more, and then I just used masking tape to mark exactly where I wanted the first piece to end up, or where I wanted the first piece to start. And I did that on both sides, and just use the masking tape as my point of reference. Next, we laid out the numbers, measured the inside width to make sure that was what I wanted in the order that they go, and approximately how far apart I wanted them. Okay, once I adjusted this where I wanted it exactly, I didn't do exact measurements, I just did it visually. I took a piece of tape and just taped the ends on the bottom, and then I did a piece of tape on the top to keep them in place while I drilled. And next we took a 3/16 inch bit, wood bit, and we just drilled out every single hole that was marked on the templates. Oops, then my camera fell, and then we proceeded to finish. But yeah, this was pretty simple, guys. This is thin wood. It's actual 3 3¼ inch thick, so pretty easy to get through. Then we removed all the tape and numbers, and we were just left with the holes for the anchors, and we went ahead and took a few of the anchors out and tried them to make sure that they were going to screw on well into the holes. And after removing them, we went ahead and we had leftover stain from the cedar doors that we did for the garage entrance. If you haven't seen that video, check it out, but finish watching this one first. But definitely check it out. We made the 2 garage doors out of cedar, and this is where I got my scraps for this. But we just took a rag and stained all over the place, and there you have it. We let this dry for about 30 to 40 minutes before we moved on to the next step, which is we started putting the anchors in. We started screwing them in with the wrench, and this took a bit. We even used a hammer. We were getting them in there, and we thought, you know, we had it made.
Make sure you put these in first,
and then we realized that
push it into
you have to put the numbers on first. So after removing the little pegs, we attach them to the numbers, and then we just push the numbers into the holes. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video on the house sign. If you like it, please remember to hit that like and that subscribe down below. The wood color looks, we use the same color as the cedar doors.